Ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially nervous. Now is the time, after all of the bingo and all the Black Friday stuff starts winding down, for me to actually spend my resources, spend the things that I've collected through crystal spending and money spending and shit like that. You can see all these selectors are still in my inventory. And the reason for this is actually so that I can make the absolute best decision. But in order to do that, I first have to put my other resources on the line through what I love to call getting shafted. You guys probably know it as CTP crafting, CTP reforging. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I got to reforge these two CTPs in order to see what I'm going to get. If I can get at least one Brilliant Rage, then the Brilliant Selector becomes a different option for me. Versus if I don't, then I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to select a Brilliant Rage. Because I'm almost set on PvP metas right now, and until Marvel Future Fighting, the developers take PvP more seriously, I don't really see the need to invest in it beyond what I've already invested into it. And if you've seen the card crafting video, you saw how much I invested into it for just small gains in PvP. So the rest of it is going to be focused on PvE, and particularly focused around ABL, Alliance Battle Legend, because with the new rewards now, you can get an additional, it's not much, right? It's not an insane amount, but you get an additional, at 12 million, you get an additional chest every single day that you can hit 12 million on, and you can get 50 of one of these three. That's really good, right? That's really good, and I'll have videos about this soon once we get through all the Black Friday stuff and the hype for that sort of dies down, because I think players really need to start strongly considering tier 4s like Luna, like Loki, like Dr. Octopus, etc., for this kind of content specifically, because it's some of the most rewarding content in the game now, where it's rewarding the players who can play at the highest level and have the best builds, rather than a lot of the content we've gotten used to in the game where they just reward everyone the same, so there's literally no reason to push, no reason to try, etc. So yeah. Okay, here we go. I've waffled on long enough. We're going to go ahead and try to reforge this bad boy. We're going to give Loki 3 judgments. Oh, I'm nervous. A regen and a destruction. All right, so we're going to do a full 21%. I don't like doing the full 21%, but in this case, why not? Why not? Let's just see here. It is 6% on the last two, so let's just take a look here. What do we get? No, we get a mighty. What a surprise. Huge shocker here, guys. Massive shocker. He gets another mighty. I don't really know what my odds have been. Like, I don't know the exact math on my luck, but to the best of my memory, my luck has been shit. My luck has been just absolute shit, because I've participated in the bingo every year that it's been out. Even when it was double bingo, I did it twice, and that's where I've gotten the vast majority of my brilliance. I think I've personally crafted successfully 2 brilliants, I think, and the rest have all been from selectors. And I've probably tried at least 15, 16 times, maybe 20 times at this point for a brilliant. So the odds are supposed to be 1 in 5, but I find that incredibly misleading, and there's basically no way that it's a 1 in 5. We're going to sacrifice an egg here as well, so we're going to go for the full... let me just make sure I'm on the right character here. We're going to go for Dr. Octopus. We're going to go for the full 21% again. So it's 2 destructions, an egg, and 2 transcendences. Shout out to my boy Hidden Tickets for giving me those. And here we go. One more try for the brilliant. And no, we get another mighty. Yeah. So this is basically my luck in this game when it comes to this kind of stuff, and it really is frustrating because, and this is why I basically okay, sure, turn it off. This is why I basically don't pay attention to characters when they're only being discussed in terms of brilliance, right? Like, if you tell me a character is good for ABL, but they need a brilliant to be good, I'm just basically not listening to you, because this is the experience for me, and I'm in the higher echelon of spending. I'm not the biggest whale out there, but I can easily throw a couple $100s at the game every month. So if I am getting this unlucky, then there's just no way, right? For the average player, there's just no fucking way. And yeah, if you're wondering, I am pissed. I'm very pissed, because I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that it's this bad, and it's now been this bad for 2 years. Sorry, 3 years. 3 years. We just passed the 3-year anniversary of when they introduced this system, and the fact that it's still just 21%. And it's not 21%. Like let's be honest with ourselves. It's not 21%. You can talk to any whale and they'll tell you that it's probably closer to 10%, right? Because you go 10 times in a row at 20% and you fail. Like what are, again, ask the mathematicians who are watching the video, what are the odds of failing a 1 in 5 10 times in a row? It's not very likely. It's not very likely, right? It's like a 5% chance to fail that many times. And to have that many players fail that many times is just, you know, it's unheard of, essentially. So I'm going to choose a greed from this regular CTP selector here. My plan, my hope was to get one of these brilliant. That was my hope. And then if that were the case, then I would reforge the greed and try to go for a brilliant greed, right? But yeah, that was kind of the best case scenario. We are now squarely in the worst case. In the worst case scenario. From the 5-star artifact selector, I think I'm going to choose Strife because I do want to have his healing bumped up from, I think it's 1% to 2%, so I think that's quite nice. I have most of the other artifacts in the game. I was thinking of getting Sins because this does help for ABX specifically, but it doesn't help for ABL very much. It's not bad, but yeah, I don't think it helps enough to really justify, and I don't have a better version of his artifact, so we're going to go ahead and choose him from the 5-star. And then from the 6-star, unfortunately, I've been convinced by my alliance to choose Adam Warlock. This one hurts because I already have a 5-star Adam Warlock, but apparently the extra 0.5% HP heal that he has actually makes a massive difference. So I will concede this point to you know, people who understand the game more than I do and have more data than I do, and I will choose 6-star Adam Warlock from that. There you go. Hopefully it's rolled well. And then from the Brilliant selector, again, I wanted to choose Greed. I really did, so that I would have an extra one. But considering how good the PvE rewards are right now with ABL particularly, it only makes sense to choose Rage here. It only makes sense. It's a way better return on your investment than the, you know, basically shit tier rewards that we get from PvP. And I hope that changes. I genuinely hope that changes. But I hope quite a few things change. I'm in a really salty mood right now, so I don't want to talk too much about the game in general, because I'm just going to end up saying a bunch of shit. But let's see the roll here. The roll's pretty bad, which is also a really fun time. I'm really happy that the roll is bad, because it means that I'm going to have to re-roll it, and I don't want to do that. The roll is bad because you don't want all attack, all defense. For those of you that are wondering, the 1% is not bad. The 1% increased basic damage is not bad, but ideally you want actually Enrage. So we're going to have to sacrifice the CTP here to re-roll this Brilliant and see if we get the Enrage. We do get the Enrage. We get 300%. Okay, that was good. That is good. So that's actually a very good roll. Okay, so at least, you know, some people would be like, oh, your luck's turned around now, Alex. Like, you got so lucky there. And yeah, I did get lucky. And some people spend 5-6 CTPs re-rolling their Brilliants. But I would rather have multiple Brilliants with bad rolls than one Brilliant with a good roll. Because it's still a Brilliant, and it can still change at any time and become like you're always just one roll away from making your Brilliant amazing. Whereas I'm literally infinite rolls away from making my Mighty into a Brilliant, because none of my Mighties will spontaneously become Brilliants, right? Whereas every time you get a free CTP from a login, every time you get a free CTP from hidden tickets or whatever, right? Otherworld battle chests, Shadowland chests, right? So many ways to get free fodder CTPs, and then boom, it just takes one reroll. So I would much rather have good reforging luck than good reroll luck, because yeah, it's just a matter of like magnitudes, right? You can't just spontaneously turn a Mighty into a Brilliant. That's something they could change if they update the game, right? If they change the way that this works. But for the time being, no, they're not going to do that. So that's kind of the way that it is. I don't think I chose a CTP from the Mighty selector. I think the Mighty selector is still somewhere around here. Yes, I forgot this one. So I'm actually not sure what to do. I think I'm going to choose Greed actually from the Mighty selector. Okay, it's Ambush, but it's a low roll, so we're going to have to re-roll that one. But it's rolled with obelisks, and it's going to take a really long time, so I'm not going to showcase it in this video. But I'm actually planning to equip that on, I believe, Black Widow. So I'm going to have some pretty nice PvP content coming in the future. But in the meantime, yeah. kind of bummed out with the results of this situation. I was really hoping to get at least one. I really hope that next year in 2024 they change the odds and they bump it up to like 30% or like 35% when you sacrifice 5 CTPs. It's a lot. It's a lot to sacrifice 5 CTPs, and it's actually more than that because you also need a duplicate of the CTP, right? Which, like, you know, I can't, even if I wanted to reforge this conquest right now, I can't. I need to go and find another conquest first. So it's actually 6 CTPs. People oftentimes gloss over that fact. And really, you know, if they just made that one change, for example, and they bumped it up, let's say, to 30% odds, and then they removed the requirement of having a duplicate CTP, I think that would be fantastic, you know? But I think the system is in need of some kind of change. Ultimately, the best change, and I should probably suggest this first before I ramble on about anything else, is instituting a pity, right? So you have some sort of like internal pity system that's calculating and keeping track of how many failures you have. And then once you have like 9 failures or 6 failures crafting a brilliant with full odds, then your 10th one is guaranteed. And for those of you who think that's like, oh my god, that's so good for whales, 9 failures in a row, if you're using the full odds, that means you're sacrificing over 50 CTPs. So yeah, if you're telling me I have to burn 55 CTPs in order to get 1 brilliant, if that's what the pity is, then that's fine. But there's people out there, and you're watching one right now, who have burned probably close to 100 CTPs. 100 CTPs, more than some of you will ever have on your accounts, and they've gotten 0 brilliance out of it. So it's really a huge kick in the dick. It's more like a stomp, actually. And yeah, it's so not fun, bro. It's so not fun. And you sort of feel like you're being artificially held back, which is cringe. Now, I was lucky with this artifact. We did get it with the right instinct as well, which is very nice. The instinct crit damage decrease is not quite as good as something like decrease additional pierce damage received, but I'm not going to tempt fate. I'm not going to re-roll that bad boy because I think it's very, very good. I think it's very, very good where it is, and hopefully it'll lead to more wins for my Adam because, yeah, his build is nearing completion. Like, it can't get very much better than it is now. I could re-roll the brilliant energy to be 32%. I know that's 8% attack and defense I'm missing. But other than that, it's pretty much 100. I guess I could reroll that as well, or not reroll, but I could upgrade that. But otherwise, it's pretty much a hundo P there. So yeah, you need to start getting those wins. Need to start seeing your the efforts of your investment pay off, because otherwise it's pretty frustrating. We did get the right instinct as well, so we hit a 1 and 4 twice, and this is what I mean. Like, how can you take this game seriously in the odds? I just hit a 1 and 4 twice on artifacts, but I can't hit a 1 and 5 once trying for this, right? It clearly feels like the odds are kind of skewed for certain things. And for people that gamble on multiple different things, you can totally see this, right? For some people, they're really lucky when they gamble cards, but then their luck when they gamble CTPs and artifacts is like completely dog shit. And it's just like terrible, right? And for other people, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. They gamble artifacts and boom, boom, boom. They're pulling artifacts like crazy. But then they gamble CTPs and it's garbage. And they gamble cards and it's garbage. And I feel like my account has been flagged for like bad CTP luck, because it's literally like, man, it's literally not only... it's pain, boys. It's pain. Anyways, yeah. Yeah. Okay. The Elgato's telling me to wrap it up. Hit me up in the comments down below, guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hopefully my pain has entertained you. Take care.